welcome to High Performance Under Pressure right now. Okay, so who's excited right now? If you are excited right now, I want you to type one in our chat box. Type one if you're excited to learn tonight, this morning. I'm sorry, always tonight kasi parang ngayon lang nag-morning session yata. Okay, we're still waiting for a few others, about 10 people to be in the room right now who's been sent, whose registration got in, and for sure they've also received their confirmation somehow. If not, let us know so that our staff could actually fix it. So there you go. And also this morning, you will be learning a lot. And I'm sure you guys already had your time with your, team leaders for this program. Okay. So if you've already had your contracting or setting your agreement for HPUP with your team leaders, please type 2 right now. I just want to make sure that a lot of you, or if not all of you, have been through the contracting or you've set your agreement with your team leaders already. Okay, there you go. It's coming. Thank you so much. And lastly, for everyone, I want you to type how you're feeling right now, because do you know that in learning, it's very important how we are feeling. We have to be able to associate our learning with positivity or positive emotions. Otherwise, when we remember that, it might be associated with negative things. That's exactly how it happens with math. Wala pong bobo sa math, kaya lang po a lot of us do have negative associations about math. That's why we don't want to touch numbers anymore. And so we end up not learning math at all. Okay? So buti na lang in USANA, we're always excited to do our business in USANA. Tama po ba? Sino ba rito ang always excited para mag-USANA? Are you guys always excited to do your business in USANA? That's very good. Okay. So here we go. Ayan. So maraming salamat po for joining us here in in High Performance Under Pressure. Okay. So I'd like to begin this with a heart-to-heart right now with you, all right? And so just lend me your ears. It will take perhaps about 30 minutes of just perhaps me wanting you to see the context on how you will be starting out in your business here in USANA, okay? Or also in your participation here at HPUP, okay? So again, good morning to the very first session. It's also perhaps the kick-off session of High Performance Under Pressure. And thank you so much, guys, that you are very excited about this. I'm also very excited about this, and I hope we will be able to add value to you in the next few months of being together here at HPUP, all right? So the purpose of this session, the first session, basically in this very part, is to help you evaluate your life, all right, the way you have been living it for years, all right? But that doesn't mean for us to, all those years perhaps it's been, when we evaluate that, those years perhaps were ordinary for some people, for some you've attempted, right? But nevertheless, we will evaluate our lives right now as participants of High Performance Under Pressure. But the question is, what does it mean for us to live a life of high performance? High performance actually means living a different kind of life from the one most people lead, right? And probably from the life most of you are already used to. Living at high performance is not necessarily unattainable, but rather because, people rarely think about intentionally and strategically managing their energies. To be at a high level of performance, to be at their peak means unrelenting focus, being present, taking your discipline to the next level, and executing with enthusiasm. And it demands mental toughness. No matter how you lived your life in the past, don't think that this is not possible for you. Living at high performance is possible for you. And this could be the first day of the best years of your life if you decide to kick it off at High Performance Under Pressure. I practice professional coaching for almost 20 years now. and I have not been as good as I am now, I would say. And I have grown as a coach, perhaps as the coaching profession itself actually evolved since its onset 2 decades ago. But it was a blessing because I had a chance to engage different kinds of people, not only from different backgrounds, but also from different levels of performance. I experienced coaching young people, religious people, potential leaders, experienced supervisors, managers, senior leaders, who else? Athletes, lawyers, doctors, professional salespeople, network marketing entrepreneurs, academics, startup entrepreneurs, board directors, and now mostly high-level executives in top companies of the world. And these experiences actually allowed me to look into the different levels of performance of people and categorize them into three types of people in the context of performance, regardless of their background and their industry. And as we discuss this, however, all right, what I want you to do is I want you to assess your own life. All right, do not learn to judge or label other people. Do not learn from this just to judge or label other people. Don't have other people in mind, just have yourself and reflect on yourself. And this is not meant to label other people as well or even yourself. My purpose for sharing this is not for you to identify na eto ako, ganito ako, prisoner, Parker, performer lang. Tama? The very purpose here is for you to see where you're at these three categories or three types, but for you and assess yourself, what's keeping you there, and then eventually make that resolution to change as a participant of high performance under pressure. You are encouraged to decide to be among the third category of people that I will mention here. Of course, that's becoming performers. Yes, you can decide in a moment what kind of life you will lead, no matter what circumstances you are in right now. Your situation today is not an excuse to remain the way you are, right? Understand that you are not meant to be how you are right now. Where you are is not your destiny. Wherever you are right now is only a launching pad to something better, bigger, and stronger. Now, since you enrolled in this program, I assume that you are decided to change the course of your life and also your business and USANA. So the question now that's most critical is, are you up to this transformation? If you are up to this transformation, write I, all right? Write I in the chat room right now if you are really up to this transformation and you're committed to that. Come on. Because the journey is not just going to be about your business, it's also about you first and foremost here at HPUP, okay? Now let's discuss these three groups of people. And the first group of people are prisoners. Well, not literally, but prisoners of two things. Number one, their pasts, and prisoners, number two, of the expectations of other people. Most people are stuck because of their past. Some of these people either committed a mistake in the past, failed at something, and were stuck in their past condition. Others were also, according to them, victims of other people's doing, and perhaps that's how you feel about yourself. Well, whether the past is your own doing or another's, they have simply lost, these people who call themselves, who might be prisoners, have simply lost a sense of control of the present. I will not address this as you so that you can be in a position where you reflect on these categories as a third person. All right? Prisoners feel that they have been victims of circumstances. They follow the blame narrative, blaming themselves and others. Others even went to the extreme of blaming God. Come on. Whatever happens in the past, either by you or by others, the effect won't necessarily reach this day if you haven't allowed it or even nurtured it. You don't want it, but you're being stuck in it if you are a prisoner. And somehow you have allowed it to shape your life right now. All right? You allowed it to rob you of your excitement. You allowed it to stain your meaningful relationships. You allowed the past to snatch your present. You are living in the past. You are not in the present. If you are not engaged right now, you won't have a future to look forward to. And remember that. Besides, you also refuse to see the future because you are already attuned to living in the past. Come on, wake up. HPUP could be your wake up call. When did it happen? Ask yourself. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago, a month ago? It doesn't matter. The sun did not rise in the past. The sun rose today to tell you that this is a new day. The Bible says His mercies are new every morning. So there's always a new chance. What you decide to do today will change your tomorrow. So stop getting stuck in the past, but start changing and take that small, crucial step by being right here, right now, today. At this very moment, as I talk to you, the world has already changed, right? And so must you. You've had chances to change, but yet, for most of us, we ignored it. You have so many chances in your life. Now you have this again. This is another chance for you. What profit do you have by not changing at all? How was your life by being stuck in the past? And be honest with yourself. Make that assessment. What is so delightful about the remorse or the hate that you hold on to and that you're not willing to really let it go? Hear me now. This moment is your chance. And say this with me. I want you to put your right hand on your chest and say this with me. I am moving forward. Come on, say that. I am moving forward. I am not a victim. I am not a mistake. I am designed to change and grow. I am a force for good. My worst story can be my best story. God is for me, not against me. Today, my life begins anew. So help me God. All right. Is that a firm commitment you guys are doing right now? Because the rest of the program will have no effect unless you make that decision. Now, while it is true that we can be prisoners of the past, I've also observed a lot of people in USANA that have become prisoners not of the past, but also of the expectations of other people about them. They are caged in certain mindsets that made them prisoners of someone else's standards. People fail because they try to impress, dress up, conduct themselves for the people they hate. They're critics, right? Laging nasa isip mo, anong susuot ko, baka anong sabihin nila, and whatever. You always have your critics in mind. And by that, you also become a prisoner. Most people rather lose their sense of identity for doing something that will make them look acceptable to others than doing something to win and become successful in life. If you are that kind of person, stop living your life based on other people's expectations. Often people also pretend to be successful. That is why they lose the drive to be genuinely successful. You don't have to pretend. You just have to be you. The best way to start your journey is by starting where you're really at and having the courage to take that step. Your standards could be low if it's just a copy from someone else, right? That is not what success looks like. Is that really how success looks like to you? No, a copy is not success at all. You know that you are only measuring up to other people's expectation, but deep inside, you know you have not yet measured up to your real potential. So start at where you are and say, this is where I start, yet believe in your potential, that you have so much to give. Yet, self-awareness and self-esteem are supreme if you want to create great success. So question is, are you really wanting to create great success in USANA? Are you? You know, in network marketing, associates do not get close more sales, not because walang prospects or not because their prospects are negative. It's because you never get to pick up the phone to call them. So stop making that excuse that people are negative. Yes, they may be, but you know, you won't know until you make that phone call. Oh yeah, perhaps you have been rejected many times. But tell me, how many times? What's the number? 10 times? If you have been rejected 10 times by perhaps people closest to you, compare that to the number of contacts you have in your phone. Or perhaps you will argue with me and say, well, I've already got rejected 500 times. Talaga? Then if you were rejected 500 times, compare that to the number of contacts you have in your FB or Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Tama? And what have you combined all of these social media and your contacts there? You know, the level of your rejection is insignificant compared to the number of contacts that you can tap into to build your business, right? Your rejection, even the number of contacts, is actually just a small fraction compared to the total number of people you can reach with this opportunity. During the AP convention, I realized how important this opportunity is because it gives people the chance to reassess their lives. And for perhaps for other people, for so long a time, they have been reassessing where they are, how they're living their lives. And USANA is simply a vehicle so that when we share it to them, they get that hope and a chance to live their lives according to their terms. So stop thinking you've been rejected. It's not even 10% of your total contacts, right? Yung iba sasabihin sa akin, lahat po ng kakilala ko ubos na. Talaga? Sino ba yung mas marami? Yung kakilala mo o yung di mo kakilala? Kung ubos na mga kakilala mo, then start contacting those you don't know. Business is never built around the people you know. You know, great businesses that we have around in this world are never designed to reach their contacts alone. Tama? They're designed to reach the billions that owners of these businesses do not personally know. But you know, all of these are just excuses because the root of all these, yung excuses na yan, na ang negative yung prospects or wala ka ng prospect, is really your self-esteem. And you have that state of self-esteem because you have been living your life according to the expectations of other people. You have a low self-esteem because you try to measure to what is only acceptable, not to you, but to other people's expectation. You fit into their box. Analyze that. And most people don't want to even measure up higher than how they have been measuring up, including your critics. Bakit? Because most of your critics have an unhealthy self-esteem that they don't like being left out as well. And perhaps the reason why they even throw criticisms on you is because they're feeling left out. It's time that you quit trying to fit your life to other people's expectations, to your boss, to the people around you, to your friends, sa mga barkada mo. Break free because you have the capacity to create success and show others that you are comfortable with yourself and your decision and show them the power of authentic freedom. So I want you to step into that zone of authentic freedom, of reclaiming what you really want for your life, to not get intimidated simply because that's not what others are expecting from you. Do not remain a prisoner of the past or other people's expectations. Now, I'd like to address the second group of people perhaps in this call, and they are the parkers. And I don't know if such a word even exists, right? But I refer these to people who are almost permanently parked somewhere and have no plans to move forward to their ultimate destination in life. And they're not necessarily people who have not experienced success in their lives. In fact, they may have been successful at one point, but they stopped moving forward. They are parked. Well, parking is supposedly temporary, right? But they seem to have made a residence wherever they are parked right now. They may be parked in the old achievement. They may be parked in the old success or the old rank. Maybe they're too tired to keep driving, or they just have found a parking lot. And perhaps they think that the parking lot is a great place to live in. Parkers. I hope we don't have parkers in this call, but if you are a parker in this call, have you not noticed that you have been parking long enough at where you are right now? You were never moving forward to your destination and you got busy instead beautifying your parking space, making sure that it's safe and functional, and justifying to others that this is the best place for you at this point in time. Some have just been blinded, perhaps by their past success or the stability they're in right now, or the sense of respect that you have been receiving from others, so that now you are too afraid to start a new journey in your life. You so want to hold on to your history of success that you don't want to try anything new anymore. You don't want to fight again, right? Because you are so afraid that your next journey might not end up with the success you had before. And so you decided to park. Whatever you say, you are still parked. No matter what justification you would give me, that is still parking, period. And parking isn't good because success is not a destination. Success is a process. You've got to be moving forward on a daily basis. So if you think you are successful, but parking, you're just fooling yourself. Because if you listen deep within you, you know there's something you must do. You know there's something waiting for you. Greatness is calling you right now. Because life isn't designed for parking, it is designed to hit the road running. Let me repeat that. Greatness is calling you because life is not designed for parking. It is designed to hit the road running. It is not designed for comfort. Life is designed for growth, and the moment you stop growing, you start dying. And that's the problem with parking too long. Achieving becomes stale to you. Nakakawala na ng gana, wala nang lasa, ayaw mo na. And instead of taking the adventure of going on a new journey, you want to stick with what you are used to. In that small parking space, trying to call it comfort or success or your lifestyle. But when it comes to achieving more, when it comes to moving forward more, it's either you're fearful or wala nang lasa tayo. Let me encourage you now. You made it once. You will make it again. So ask yourself, how did I end up here in the parking lot? Where did my ambition and drive and excitement go? If you had success in the past, but you stopped creating success now, then you are not successful anymore. Success and history are not synonymous. You are not successful today just because you had a history of success. You were successful before because you were adding value to people. You were solving problems. You were giving a piece of yourself to others and to the world. But you stopped doing that. What happened? You know, don't settle. Another form of parking is your status. The world is so good at giving us status, which can be based on our past accomplishments. But the world can never give us success because it's something that you give to yourself on a daily basis. It is the process. It is the journey. It is the discipline. It is the next step you take. It is every decision to move forward when you feel like quitting. And creating success is a present endeavor. It is a daily thing. And I challenge you to look deep within you right now. Draw enough courage to admit that you are made for something greater. You are actually not made for where you are right now. The parking space that you are in now is not where you are meant to be. And you know that. If you listen to that courageous voice inside of you, you would know that by heart. So get out of your comfort zone, spread your wings, because you might just be where you might be where you are not meant to be at all. So start spreading your wings. Be bold, be courageous, have that faith. And no matter what happens, no matter what the condition is, decide to take one step forward from your condition right now. Now, the third group of people is actually where I want to take you, or where I want you to be part of as participants of high performance under pressure. This is where you need to make a new decision. I know it will not happen overnight. It will take a process, but it always begins with a moment of decision. The third group of people in Power Punch are the performers. So ask yourself right now, am I living my truth and actualizing my potential? Am I living an inspired life? Am I inspiring others actively? Because if your answer to those questions is no, then perhaps you need to make that decision. Perhaps it's about time that you have to say, maybe not yet. But are you willing to live such kind of life in which you can unleash your best and contribute to other people? Performers are people who are engaging life in a new and inspired way. They decide to see life as magical and meaningful. They look for opportunities for change, growth, and contribution. And I know you're ready for this. Ask me why. Because you're here at High Performance Under Pressure. You could spend your Sunday somewhere else, but you decided to be here and you decided to spend your Sunday, the next 8 Sundays with me because you're looking for an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for change and contribution. You are that person. You are capable of becoming a high performer. You're capable of helping solve problems, adding value to others. High performers are always willing to contribute to the world, and they concern themselves about what they can get out of the world, but they are more concerned about what they are giving back to the world. Decide right now because you can live as a high performer if you decide by heart. Let this be the beginning of the greatest years of your life. High performers are empowered, not because they are talented, but because they are intentional in developing the traits that will make them valuable, successful, fulfilled. They are ordinary people like you and me, but they are intentional in growing themselves and others. And they can do that because they have decided to be just like that. The only difference between a high performer and most of us is actually just a moment. And that moment is called decision. So if you decide today, follow through, and your life will never be the same again. High performance under pressure is designed to help you develop the conditions and traits that will make you a high performer in USANA and in your personal life. But they are all useless unless you make that decision right now. No matter what we do, no matter what seminar you take, no matter how good your leader is, if you don't decide to be a high performer, you won't be a high performer at all. We can't make that decision for you. You are here to make, we are only here to help you make that decision. And we can only empower you if already you have made that decision to be a high performer. Everything begins with identity, and you've got to see yourself in that light. So question now is, would you make that decision? You know, we are so addicted to following the stories that we rehearse in our minds. Other people, perhaps the stories that they rehearse is about them being a victim or being stuck or being a prisoner or a parker or swayed by circumstances, right? But if you change your story, you'd also change your life. So what story is dominating you right now? What is motivating you or snatching your motivation? It's time to change that story right now, because today is the first day that you will live the best years of your life, right? How would you like to change your life from here? What we will do in a bit is I will break you into small groups, all right? And I want you to share to your group how you would want to change the story of your life starting today. What decision would you make? And what would you reap in the future if you make that decision? Are you willing to do that? But do it quick because we don't have a lot of time for this. We will only have, I will break you into small groups right now. Welcome back, everybody. Wow, how was it? Kumusta?
It was good.
All right, so I'm sure you
Great.
guys are
Yeah.
excited for the next segments of high performance under pressure. Yung iba, medyo pinupunasan pa yata yung luha nila. All right, so this morning we are actually so blessed because I asked one of the graduates of HPUP and definitely a leader in USANA. All right, he was a Ruby director with his team, and he brought his team with him during HPUP, and he decided to move from prisoner parker to performer, and is definitely a performer now. He's been changing his story, changing his life as well, right? During HPUP, he made that decision, and we moved from becoming an executive, from Ruby director to executive Ruby director, and then he skipped rank to diamond director. So he's now one of the newest, if not the newest diamond director of USANA Philippines. And he's also now among USANA's highly esteemed League of Champions. I think is one of the earliest to have qualified for USANA's League of Champions. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, come on, palakpakan naman natin. And thank you so much for this person. Let's welcome Diamond Director Rolly Anggot. Come on. Hello there, Rolly. Are you there? Hi, Rolly. Are you there? Okay. Walang sagot. Rolly, are you there? Okay, let's wait for a little while. Biglang nawala. I think he has a connection problem. So we'll see when he's back, okay? So there. So I'm sure Rolly is going to give us a very good story. When he started out in USANA, he was with his team. He actually brought about more than 40 people. So the second batch of USANA, and so far they have produced the most number of directors and also goal directors. And eventually he ended up the journey becoming the newest diamond director of USANA Philippines. Okay? So there we go. Maybe we can have him later on. All right? Because he was telling me that he had a little bit of a problem with his connection. So we'll have him later on. Let's continue. Okay? So there we go. All right. Continue tayo. So that's Rolly. Okay, so high performance under pressure. I'm sure you guys already went through your contracting with your leaders, right? Because we want commitment at high performance under pressure. Yes, it is an educational program. It is a learning event, but it doesn't end there because we want it to be performance focused, which means that because your performance here, even if you only move to the next rank, will be a stepping stone for the greatness that's awaiting for you in our USANA opportunity. Given the right support system and the right system and leader and system from your leaders, eventually you'd get there. So I hope you guys have already committed. So let me just review a little bit and add more points to the contracting you've already had with your leaders. Okay? So now let me ask you right now, and I'm throwing this question to everybody. What do you think is the key to high performance? Anyone can answer. What do you think is the key to high performance? You may raise your hand and then I will acknowledge you para hindi kayo sabay-sabay, or you can also type in your answers. All right? Para makapag-participate lahat. Yes, Alan. What do you think is the key to high performance?
Yes, to be
We don't hear you,
doing
Alan.
the key for high performance, of course, is decision and of course commitment to whatever you are doing.
Okay, it's a decision and commitment. Others also answered the same. Thank you for that, Alan. Others also answered confidence, decision, discipline, commitment, decision, consistency. You commit, decision, consistency, committed, and many massive action. All right. Okay, learning and putting into practice, planning and execution, belief and decision to act. If you want to say something, please raise your hand so that I can acknowledge you, and then you can switch on your microphone. Decision, discipline, and action. There, awareness and self-esteem, belief, and decision to act. All right, if you've read some books or probably studied about high performance or high performance culture, one thing stands out that is key to high performance. This is the reason why a lot of people hire coaches, especially if, for example, athletes competing in, what do you call that? Athletes competing in the Olympics. This is also the reason why, also the reason why we have supervisors and bosses and team leaders. Okay? So the key to high performance, and one of the activities to high performance, if you want to develop a high performing culture, is called feedback. Say that word again. It's called feedback. So based on that, for a person to be performing at a higher level, you need feedback. But feedback alone is not the key to high performance. It is one of the activities to stimulating high performance in people. So the question is, what is the key? If feedback is only one of the activities that is the key to high performance, then what exactly is the key to high performance? And that's applicable whatever industry you're at. All right, Nelsa, what's your opinion about this? What's the key to high performance?
For me, sir, wait. For me, sir, high performance is how you execute your actions
Mm-hmm.
into higher level.
Okay. All right. So part of the execution, what would you be needing as a key to high performance? Because there are a lot of people who want to really execute a higher level, right? But there is really a key to that. It's not just about you making that decision or you having the resolve or the discipline to do it. And it's really key. And a lot of people apparently don't recognize this. That's why in Usana, a lot of people also don't move up based on the speed that they want. That's very close. Right? Corrective action, do the necessary action to improve. Uh-huh. Now, compare that with the idea of inertia and momentum. All right? Inertia, yes. Strong leadership could also come in. Raise under pressure, inertia and momentum. Inertia is when you are moving at a uniform rate, right? There's still a little bit of movement, but moving only in a uniform rate. All right? But the only way to break that inertia, a lot of people who are parked perhaps are in inertia. And there are others who are also willing, but they're not able to move forward. Somebody answered it right. But the only way for you to be able to break that inertia is when an external force acts on it. And then you can gain momentum. So in that case, what's the right word for that external force so that people are not stuck with inertia in terms of how they would want to move up in their career or in their business? It's called, and somebody answered it right, his name is Jason Paila. Look in the chat group. In the chat room, he said one word that's key to high performance, and most people don't recognize this. It is actually called dang, da, dang, da, dang, accountability. Now, you can have performance all by yourself with discipline, with decision, with commitment. But without accountability, it's almost impossible to be consistently performing at higher levels. Do you get that? And that is why we develop high performance under pressure that way, that you have team leaders and you are working with a team leader so that you establish accountability. It is accountability that is an external force that will be acting on a regular basis. And that is why we started this with contracting, so that you are accountable to your team leaders and your team leaders are accountable to their supervisors. It is only when we keep a system of accountability that we can move things forward in an extraordinary way beyond your own perceived ability to do so. Are we here? That's how important accountability is. So hindi pwede rito yung mga lone rangers. If you want to be a high performer, you've got to be accountable. So are you willing to be accountable to your actions and to your own performance on a weekly basis at high performance, beginning with high performance under pressure? Type number 1 if you are willing. Come on, let me see those commitments right now. Good, great. Ayan, pumapasok. Everybody has to be willing to do that, because if not, we're not willing to do that, then, walang rason, right? We don't have a very strong, reason for really parang ma-establish talaga natin and that we're able to accomplish the goals that we are setting here. All right. So there we go. Are we understood about accountability? Do we agree? Are we agreeable about accountability there? And that's also the reason why sinasabi mo may ungot or whatever, because you're not being accountable. But when you are accountable and that you're working within a framework in that accountability, then it will matter so much in terms of taking your performance to a higher level. All right, so talking about accountability, I'm sure you guys already saw this, right? During your contracting with your leaders. At high performance under pressure, I expect all participants to adhere with the code of conduct. And it's very easy to remember. The red ones are stop, the green ones are actually, the red ones are stop, the green ones are go, and then the yellow ones are the ones you work with your team. You want your team to be like this, all right? That's the culture that I want you to develop within your team. So let's begin with the red ones. If you want to be a high performer, stop blaming. Hello? So stop pointing your finger to somebody else who you think is responsible, because you are responsible to your own life. Are we here? Stop complaining, because complaining will never ever help you come up with the decisions or the solutions that you're faced with at this point in time, right? And also, stop defensiveness, trying to always justify your actions or even moving away from whatever, from accountability. And no excuses at all. Are we here? So are we on the go to just create results? So what will you be focusing on? Number one, goal. Set your goal every week. All right. And second, and that refers to the performance goals that you have to do every week. And then focus on your mastery level, right? You have already decided on your mastery level, right? So focus on your mastery level and then take action every single week and just do it anyway, all right? But also at the same time, I'd like you to work with your accountability with your team leaders. So have high trust your team leader, as your team leader would also be trusting you, and then execute the business with as much integrity as you can master. Are we getting this? That's number one, and I think your leaders have already worked with you in this area. Secondly, I'm sure you guys are familiar with this, right? Commitment. Three things are important here. Commitment to mastery. I'm sure you saw that already and you have identified your mastery level. Sige nga, what's the mastery level that you will be working on during the duration of high performance under pressure? Sige nga, can you type in? What's the mastery level? Elite circle. How about the others? What's your mastery level? Type in your mastery level that you will be working on. Easy, elite circle, LS, top apprentice, top apprentice, top apprentice. Good. Now we all have an understanding where you're at, because every group, every team has your own 4 frameworks as to work it out. Level of mastery, and also the strategies that you need to go through and execute within that level of mastery. All right? I'm glad that your team leaders did their job in terms of really accomplishing, in terms of really identifying your mastery level and getting you accountable for it. So if you want high performance, you have to commit to mastery. That's very specific to you, Zana. Second is the discipline of execution. Yes, you will do planning and training, but 80% of your energy has to go to your weekly performance goals. 20% of your energy for development, but 80% of your energy should go towards disciplined execution to get your performance goals done. So keep on attempting 100%. So what is required? Number of presentations with direct prospects, right? What else? Number of sponsored PCs enrolled, if that's part of your performance goal, and the number of sponsored associates enrolled, personal, and then total conversion volume. I don't know if you've discussed about that. For example, if you have 10 associates na na-enroll mo today, na puro mo direct, divided by 10 is actually, let's say, you have a total of 5,000 points divided by 10. So in other words, your conversion volume per enrollee is 500. You get that? So more or less, you would know ano yung level of capability mo of closing sales per individual prospect. And then, of course, your weekly commission. That's the focus. The rest of the program is part of the strategy, but in terms of execution, what will be asked for you and what you are accountable for is actually your weekly performance goals. Do we agree with that? Can you type in yes if you agree with that? So that you're not just agreeing with your leader, you're also agreeing with me. Okay. So there, thank you so much for those commitments. All right, let's push ourselves because life is never meant for comfort. It's meant to hit the road running so we can keep moving forward. And lastly, continuous improvement. And our strategy for that is actually your weekly coaching with your team leaders. All right? So, your team leaders will either set that with you or ikaw dapat maniningil at magpa-schedule na kaagad at the end of each 'di ba, Monday to Saturday we work, right? And then perhaps after, the cutoff on Saturday until Sunday should supposed to be about your coaching with your leaders, coaching and mentoring with your leaders, so that you continuously improve your strategies for the following week and that you increase your numbers for execution for the weekly performance goals. Is that very clear? All right. And that is going to speed up the accountability part and speed up your development as well as your performance. Okay. Very simple. All right. What it needs is for you to just 100% commit to mastery, commit to disciplined execution, and then commit to continuous improvement. Clear path, right? Very clear path right there. So I don't want you, during this program, I also discourage you to learn other programs or other learning events or even yung mga bago na namang skills that you're not used to. Because when you're learning something that you're not used to doing, it will actually get in the way of your focus. And the tendency is for you to slow down in terms of your weekly performance goals. So just go to the trainings that your team leaders and supervisors or your uplines are recommending. Do you get that? All right? Because there are seasons for everything. And when you do HPUP, I want you to master what you already have in your team. Do not introduce something new or try to, when you're bored and you're trying to get some inspiration, hanap ka na naman, parang lagi ka lang nagsisimula tapos wala kang natatapos. The key here is for you to be performance focused and then keep on improving yourself, stay within the loop until you actually master and deliver the results of your mastery level. Is that clear, ladies and gentlemen? All right, so thank you for that. All right, next. The other thing here that's most important as well is for you to actually work on your team goal. I think your team leaders were not able to tell you what the team goal is. All right? But so that you will have a context for you to work together as a team and apply high trust and integrity together as a team, you also got to work with your team goals. While you're actively working on your mastery level and your performance goal, you have to understand that you're not just doing it for yourself, you're also adding value for the rest of the team. All right? We bring in the value of contribution here, not just your own growth, so that you have greater motivation. In fact, greater motivation actually comes when you know you are adding value to something that's bigger than yourself. Right? Tama ba? Success can be accomplished by achieving your own goals, but fulfillment is accomplished when you are adding value to something bigger than yourself. So what's the team goal? All right, everybody, I want you to listen to me 100% on this. Your team goal is very, very simple. Your team goal is simply the team goal is simply this. Nawawala. All right, nawawala yung connection ko. So, wait lang muna. Sandali lang. I'll just wawala connection nung from the side of my. All right. Okay, there. Okay, give me some time right now to just fix this. Only 2 seconds to fix this. I'll just share my own screen kasi medyo mas malakas yung ano ko. All right, so the team goal here, ladies and gentlemen, is simply this. You've been working with your teams. You are accountable to your team leaders as well. So our team goal here is simply the team leader's goal. Are you getting that? The team goal is the team leader's goal. All right? Now, I will get you into a breakout session in a little bit after this, not within this Zoom meeting. So, right now, may I ask the team leaders right now, you know your teams, right? May I ask the team leaders right now very quickly to grab your messenger and then create your own exclusive chat group only for you and the team members that you have in HPUP. Right? Quickly, please do that right now. Only for you and the team members in HPUP, so that after this session, I want you to shift to your own, mag-shift na kayo doon sa sarili-sarili nilong chat group, and then you can have your, di ba pwede naman doon sa chat group or Discord or whatever, and then you can, whatever you're comfortable with at ginagamit nyo na, tapos doon kayo mag-meeting together, right? Or you can also have a meeting later on, but I really highly encourage that you have a meeting right after this session. So the team goal is going to be your team leader's goal, right? In a while, ito yung magiging workshop ninyo when we close, after we close. But we will call our speaker in a little bit. I want you to identify 5 benefits for you if you help your leader achieve her goal. Right? Please do a screenshot. Identify 5 benefits for you kung tutulungan mo yung leader mo na ma-accomplish niya yung goal niya. And also think about 10 benefits for your entire team if you help your leader achieve his goal. Ano ang magiging impact nito sa entire team ninyo if you help the leader achieve the goal? Yun yung i-brainstorm nyo mamaya, so that eventually you will find the reason to really help your leader, and so that you will see the significance of helping your leader get the goal. I want you to identify those 5 benefits as well. It could be learning, it could be sense of contribution and all of that. These things are all very, very important. All right. So I am very excited right now because we will get to hear the story of our speaker. Is already here, right? Again, is Ruby Director, and he brought about 40 people with him during High Performance Under Pressure Batch 2. And then eventually they implemented the entire process, and they focused more about CARPE, which is focused on daily actions and what you need to accomplish at the end of each week. In other words, they're very focused on their performance goals as well as their vital actions. So the result was tremendous because eventually he moved to becoming an executive Ruby Director, skipped Emerald Director, and now the newest Diamond Director in USANA. And not only that, the first, I think, to have one of the first to have qualified for the League of Champions of USANA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our newest Diamond Director, Rolly Anggot. Palakpakan naman natin. Come on. Hello there, Rolly.
Yes po, good morning. Good morning po sa lahat. Okay, Mentorab, good morning.
Ayan.
Yes, thank you po sa this privilege to share my story and maximizing the high performance under pressure. Okay? So, by the way, I'm Rolly Anggot, the new Diamond Director from Cagayan de Oro. From Pagadian po, Cagayan de Oro. Okay, so I would like to share to you about how we maximize the high performance under pressure. Because last year we tried to move, we tried to run, keep running, to run the executive, but medyo kinulang talaga, kinulang. So simple naman, I think na sabi ko, kailangan may training talaga, may training. So I tried any trainings last year. Then last December, I keep on asking Mentor, may I heard something na meron HPUP because I keep on asking from Davao people, Davao associates, because they give the amazing result, Yung Davao, grabe yung resulta na ibigay nila. That is why I asked them. So yun, the HPUP batch 2 was started, this is 13 weeks, kasi during our run in Executive Ruby, tamang-tama na nag-start yung HPUP. Okay? So, maximizing, di ba, from pandemic, lahat ng advancement, may mga lines na strong, may medyo hindi strong. Sabi ko, if magkaroon ng training, I will try to maximize kasi wala namang power punch, HPUP. So, very amazing yung result na because without HPUP, maximizing 10 people in every line. 10 people. Kaya nga, ipasok ko yung 40 packs in every line, in every, the whole duration of HPUP. Like, giving 80 directors, no, produce 4 silver directors, and then nag-produce po siya ng 3 new gold directors in my line, no? Kaya yung run namin sa Diamond Director, sabi ko, given na po yung Emerald Director, sabi ko, skip na lang tayo to maximize the Diamond Director. So very amazing, no? So kaya nga sabi ko, with the first orientation pa lang sa HPUP, amaze ako. When I saw the code of conduct, no? So sobrang ganda talaga. Super ganda talaga yung code of conduct, di ba? Double no defensiveness. Talagang sabi ko, wow, this is it. Sabi ko, this is it, no? Napakaganda po, no? So, and every week, there's sessions in every week. Sabi ko, don't miss it, no? Sabi ko sa mga leaders, huwag niyong i-miss yung an every week session kasi we need to prioritize, drop everything for this training. Kasi amazing talaga itong training na to, no? This is the first na, parang ito yung power plants na online, sabi ko. So, tamang-tama, we created goals, 90 days goal, no? The whole duration, 90 days goal. So, keep on running, everybody is keep on running. Regardless kung bago siya, new associates or old associates, as long as nakita natin na they are potential. Because they are willing. So, from being a prisoner, sabi ko nga, talaga, pandemic talaga, wala na tayong chance dito, mahirap. Sila lang yung talaga yung pwedeng advance, hindi natin kaya, sabi ko nga. But, after the training, sabi ko nga, yun pala, being a prisoner, so, naging parker na naman, no? From Ruby, sabi ko nga, Ruby lang na, hirap talaga. So, basta Ruby lang tayo. Abutan natin yan ng Diamond na yan. But, after from being the prisoner to parker, naging performer because of the maximizing kasi lahat ng mga tao nagra-run. Kasi, sabi ko, this is very, talagang very useful training. Lahat ng mga tao mag-grow. Sabi ko nga, this is my word na sinasabi ko sa team ko. Sabi ko, wala namang pako na pwedeng kung hindi mo siya pupukin, no? Diba? Sabi ko, walang pako na talaga, yung talagang paalalim siya, kung hindi mo siya pupukin. So, we need to push doon sa mga sabi ko nga, these directors, these new silver directors, new gold directors, and then, like now, we are on the track na naman to produce a executive gold director to Ruby. So, like, 4 yung nagraran today. Kasi siya sa ilalim, nag-google na, nagsisita yung silver directors preparing for gold. Sabi ko nga, if there's another SPUP, again na naman kami, papasok kami ng mga yung new associates na nag-builder ngayon, nag-PVPs, sabak namin sa SPUP again. Why? Kasi kailangan talaga to sustain the energy na meron tayo, maximizing, tapos natunan nila yung paano yung coaching, matuto na sila paano yung mentoring, at saka mini-maximize nila yung trap and mentor. No? So dito namin natutunan talaga, palagi narinig trap and mentor, pero hindi talaga ginagawa. No? Kasi nandiyan yung mga familiarity, ganyan. So, kaya nga, we are preparing naman, priming to run our EDS, no? Executive Diamond Summit in Peru. So sabi ko nga, we can on-track sa lahat ng mga trainings. Sabi nga, very amazing. We are so very thankful na mentor is in our USANA industry. So sabi ko nga, ganda-ganda ng mga training kasi yung nag-train is USANA, Diamond $1 million Club. So yung training is tailored fit talaga for USANA. So lahat ng mga papasok dito, sa lahat ng papasok ng new team, talagang swak na swak yung mga learning lang. Talagang tailored fit siya doon sa USANA. Sabi ko, maximizing, no, all the associates, no, I hope na talagang hindi lang po sa akin yung Diamond Director, lahat po tayo dito pwede maging Diamond Director. Sabi ko nga, yun lang, yung good conduct, yung pinaka-importante doon. Kung pwedeng masunod natin, 99% yung good conduct. Okay, so lahat ng mga yung mga workshops natin, very abangan nyo. Super exciting yung mga like yung framework, creating the habit. So yung Carpe Diem na ginagawa. So actually my team is doing Carpe Diem for almost 4 years, no? Yung iba hindi na maximize, pero ako talaga hindi ko iniwanan yung Carpe Diem na yun. So swak na swak talaga dito sa HPUP because alam naman natin lahat na habit talaga. Habit forming is very important. Habit forming na paano tayo maging diamond director. So, not diamond director, so ahead siguro, stars diamond, executive, na parang maximize talaga. So, lahat, kasi hindi tayo pwedeng, alam naman natin na we cannot graduate, no? We cannot graduate, no? Dito sa, parang hindi tayo full-fledged na HPUP, na kung hindi ka nag-advance. Kaya nga yung mga builder na pumapasok, talagang they're focus on the creating habit na paano na mag-rank advance ito director. Kaya nga, a lot of people now, they're preparing the director na naman. So, consistent naman kasi nagkaroon ng habit eh. Kasi problema, pwede tayo magkaroon ng energy today or energy this month. The following month, wala na tayong energy. Why? Because we don't create habit. So, nandun naman yung framework na ilalata doon dito sa HPUP natin. Kaya super exciting. Alam ko naman na hybrid naman to because this is special, no? This is a special training ng HPUP. Alam ko, guys, hybrid talaga ng training na to. So alam ko naman, I'm expected na talagang maraming magrarakad mas ito. Magbulagta na lang lahat talaga na, nagdaya mo naman si ano. So alam ko naman, nandito yung mga bagitong mga Yusana, no? Yung mga astig na mga Yusana associates. So guys, maximize HPUP, hilahin natin lahat ng mga leaders, that everything, follow the code of conduct, sundin natin yun, no deceive, yung mga action, lahat dito. So every morning, to create a habit, reminding on our team members. So being a team leaders, no, yung team leaders yung pinaka vital dito. So being a team leaders, be responsible doon sa lahat ng mga members sa ilalim na they are performing kung anong nailearn natin in every single week dito sa workshops na to. No? So, habit talaga yung kailangan, yung mga leaders, follow up talaga. So, keep pulling. No, ang ganda dito kasi I learned a lot, no? Medyo medyo unique siya kasi yung sinasabi natin, di ba? Feedback yung feedback yung ginagawa, di ba? O anong feedback sa akin? But dito hindi feedback eh. Feed forward. So, sabi ko, wow, is another thing, di ba? So, yung karaniwan na narinig tayo, feedback man, pero ito dito iba, feed forward. Okay, so siguro guys, alam ko naman na moral advancement, no, maximize lang sa lahat ng mga trainings. Siyempre naman, team leaders take charge. So ako, ang ginagawa ko lang is sinusundan ko na talaga yung mga tao ko. So yung mga leaders na along the way, yung mga leaders na being the top, ako yung nasa sa itaas, I keep monitoring doon sa mga leaders. Then yung mga leaders nila, meron ba silang mga ma'am after the session? So yung feed forwarding is very important. So ginagawa namin dito sa Cagayan, hindi lang rin sa online, yung feed forward namin, nakikita-kita kami sa somewhere doon sa mga kainan, no, habang kumakain, nag-create ng feed forward, no, yung HPUP natin. So parang hindi siya masyadong mabigat ang something new naman. Hindi naman yung puro na lang talaga, parang training talaga na bakbakan talaga. So we create something na innovative na pwedeng lahat ng mga millennials, alam ko naman lahat dito millennials eh. So I keep learning how to handle millennials. But today, so we have lahat ng mga rank advancers namin, lahat sila po millennials. So maximizing everything is PUP. No, keep asking to our mentor Rob, no, ano yung gusto natin na pwede nating gawin na pwede nating ma-learn dito sa HPUP. Guys, alam ko naman maraming magda-diamond director dito. Expected na po yan, no, maximizing HPUP. So, hindi ibig sabihin na pressure tayo para mag-diamond, mag-executive review, but maximizing the learning kung anong meron tayo dito. So, this is another thing. Siyempre, may mga kultura tayo in every line, but HPUP is very, very unique. No? Kasi kung anong culture na meron tayo, tailored fit siya doon sa walang babaguhin sa kultura. Kung hindi, may mga bagay na pwedeng idagdag. Okay? So, habang while we're creating our empire in Usana, we keep equipping ourselves to learn a lot more, to handling people, leadership, everything. And then lahat po ng ating mga habits po ng mga leaders natin. Okay? So guys, your new demo director, Yusana, I hope may na-learn kayo and then inspiring you a lot. And then see you in the Diamond Lands, guys. Guys, so Mentor Rob, thank you for this opportunity. Alam ko naman na exciting talaga ako dito. For the third batch, expected na marami akong hakutin na leaders to learn, to master this PUP again. Guys, more advancement. Thank you very much and good morning po sa inyong lahat. Happy Sunday to all. Thank you very much, Mentor Rob. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Rolly. Ang galing, grabe, di ba? Ang galing. Coach Rolly is just very diligent in terms of really implementing everything he learns and to make sure it's implemented. I remember the last time when I first created Carpe Diem. Few weeks after, nakalibro na yung Carpe Diem. Tapos yung mga tao niya are just working out their business based on the Carpe Diem. Pina-follow up niya lang kaagad. It's really good at executing. And hearing him, so it's such a great joy. Tama, I'm so proud of you, Mentor Rolly, and that's amazing. You really deserve to be a Diamond Director. Pasalamatan naman natin siya, paulanan natin ng pasalamat si Mentor Rolly right now. It's just amazing. And you know, these guys, just to tell you, Mentor Rolly, that medyo spoiled ito kasi this is already so many revisions. It's not the third batch, it's actually an exclusive batch. But you know that in this batch, 10 meetings ang leadership workshops nila. So, 2 leadership workshops, tapos may follow-up every Sunday ng 1 hour of leadership to make sure that they're really implementing everything that they're learning here at HPUP. So, you will learn more later on in the next batch, in the next sessions about feed forward and other things to really make it running. Again, palakpakan po natin Mentor Rory, who really deserves to be the League of Champion. I think, are you the first League of Champion ba sa Philippines?
Yes po, kami ni Sarmiento, Mentor Sarmiento po.
Yeah, si Sarmiento also, no? So dalawa pa lang yung mga, pero ikaw yung una, tama? Because they just followed later on, I think.
Yes po.
You're
Yes,
the very first member of the League of Champions in the Philippines. Palakpakan natin, grabe, di ba? From Ruby Director all the way to Diamond Directorship. All right? So that's really amazing. Well-deserved. One of the leaders I have under me that I'm really, really, really proud of because, you know, he's just, you know, he's the execution man. You tell him something, he executes it. Very diligent in terms of executing. Okay? So there. For this session, basically that's about it. So what we will do right now is that I want you to break out into your own groups already, all right, in your own FB groups already and reconnect and spend the next 30 minutes to identify the 5 benefits for you if you help your leader achieve his goal. At the same time, you achieve your goal. And 10 benefits together. Ito yung pag-usapan ninyo ngayon. Ano yung magiging benefit kapag pinagtulungan nyo na makuha ng leader niya yung goal niya. Okay? Just to get the context for us to really work together as a team. I'm sure you guys have so much in this, so much to give and so much to do and accomplish in the next few weeks here at High Performance Under Pressure. I'm excited for you and I hope you're also excited for your journey. Your journey to greatness begins today right here on the first session of High Performance Under Pressure. God bless you all. Go now to your breakout groups with your team leaders in your FB groups or FB Messenger groups. All right? All right. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.